Toronto Scarborough campus. Thanks to Muslim Student Association and specifically your president, Hamza Khan, for providing me an opportunity to be part of your networking event. And as I was introduced, I'm the Member of Parliament for the riding of Scarborough Centre, which is not far from here. I know for this university, the local Member of Parliament is Gary and Sandbury, Member of Parliament for the riding of Rouge Park, but my riding is from Victoria Park to Alameen and Eglinton to 401. So I was elected in 2015 for the first time, re-elected in 2019, and then re-elected in 2021. So I have completed 9 years as the Member of Parliament. 10th year started, so let's see when the next election happens and if I continue to get the opportunity to serve the people of Scarborough. I was asked today by Hamza to talk about my political journey. So I'll give you a little bit background of who I am, how and why I came to Canada, and then my 25 years of journey here as an immigrant. So I was born in UK because my father was studying at that time in UK at the Coventry College of Education, but I was just 3.5 months old when I went to Pakistan. So I've been raised in Pakistan. I was very lucky that I was raised in a family where education was always forefront. My father was a teacher in Pakistan Army, so education was there, and he was very passionate. And I'm the eldest of the 3 children, like I have 2 younger brothers. So being the eldest in the family and the only daughter, I was lucky that I was provided with the same opportunities to get education as my brothers. My father thought that education is the best tool he can give it to his children so that they can be successful and in life. Growing up in a household where I had equal opportunities, and my father always used to take me out. He was very passionate about doing work within the community, about human rights. So I grew up in that house where always your values, the things which are right to do, were always in the forefront in our house. Growing up and then getting into the university, I got my MBA from University, Pakistan, which is one of the universities in Islamabad. And then, as a young girl, in 1994, I got the opportunity to be at my own in Europe. I went there to do my master's in educational management and administration, so from University of London. I stayed there in a hostel as a young girl and then came back to Pakistan in 1995. I was working for Government of Pakistan at Higher Education Commission, which is a which is an organization to provide support to the tertiary level of education in Pakistan. So education has always been there, and because of my degree, we came and immigrated to Canada in 1999. So it was October 15, 1999, when I landed at Pearson Airport holding a hand of a 1-year-old son. Although when we came here, I think I was not very much interested to immigrate to Canada. One thing was that my family was back in Pakistan, and I thought if we have to immigrate somewhere, maybe why not Europe, because maybe I was used to it, and I thought like, because I've stayed here as a student, but basically my husband was interested to come here because he did his master's from North America. So that's where we came. I think destiny brought us here. But the basic purpose of the immigration was to make sure that we can provide better education opportunities to our children. I am a mother of 2 young men now, 26 and 24-year-old. The younger one is here. He was born in Canada in year 2000. And when I came to Canada, I started my life as a stay-home mom because I thought the kids are very young job as a stay-at-home mom in a country where I didn't know many people, like at times life seemed really, very difficult. We left everything, started from the scratch here, actually, as you know, when you immigrate to Canada, it's not easy to find jobs of the level where you left back home. So my husband is a banker. He started searching for jobs. He started as a teller in a bank. Now he works for a Royal Bank, but it was not an easy start. We rented like a one-bedroom apartment in the heart of downtown, and he was earning $1,600, $800 was our rent, so family of 4 was living on the rest $800. But like we struggled through, and I think we created an environment around us to be like successful. I knew that okay, like if we work hard, I think a lot of opportunities are here in Canada, and definitely we will get through these difficult times. Like, if I look back now, 25 years, there have been lots of ups and downs, but I think this country has provided us opportunities to be successful. Alhamdulillah. So while I was looking after the 2 kids, I got graduation done from WES about my degrees, and I thought maybe teaching would be the best profession to get into with young kids. And around year 2001, I figured out that I only have to do 2 courses, and I can get Ontario teaching certificate, because I had a master's degree from UK educational management, so I thought that would be the best profession. So that's what I was thinking, but I think God has a different path for me. So back in 2002, my eldest son started going to school. As we were living in downtown, the school was Regent Park, New York Public School. It was a school in one of the priority neighborhoods, because most of the people living around Regent Park area were new immigrants, first language was not English. So there were a lot of programs at that school to provide support to the new immigrant families as they come in and settle in. So as education was very close to my heart, and I really wanted to make sure that my sons had the best opportunities, I got involved in the school council, because I thought that would be like a path where I can contribute and see how we can provide better opportunities to our young kids. As when I was in JK, I took that, started going into the parent council meetings, and one day the principal said to me, "You seem to know quite a lot, not many parents here can communicate that well." So I had no one is willing to take the position of the parent council chair. Would you be willing to take that? And I took that. I said, yeah, why not? If I can be of help, and even those parents for whom English is not the first language, and they have some communication barriers, and a lot of community at Regent Park at that time was from Somalia, Bangladesh, a lot of Muslim mothers. So I thought, I think that would be a good opportunity to contribute and make sure that our next generations are successful in this country. So as I took that, and back in 2002, conservatives were in power at the provincial level. I think as students, you must have heard about the Harris era in Ontario. There were lots of cuts happening to education at that time. There were a lot of strike days in the schools. Most of you would not be in the schools at that time, but as a parent, it was very disturbing for me to see that there are strike days, the teachers are not happy with what the work the government is doing, and as a result, the support staff was often at strikes. And I really, because I was new in this country, I really knew that how different governments work here, and whose responsibility it is to make sure that schools are in good working conditions, and kids don't lose their study days because of these strikes and other issues. So I have few discussions with the principal about that. And as my older son was going from JK to SK, at that time SK was full time, but I got and started searching that who my local MPP is, and then I looked into, okay, how the things function here. The Member of Parliament is not responsible for education here, it's the provincial representatives who are responsible, and I called that MPP's office and got an appointment. And we didn't used to have a car at that time, but on a double stroller with 2 toddlers, and I walked into the office of a member of provincial parliament. And I laid down the things I came for, and I didn't know that he's in opposition. So he explained me that I'm a liberal MPP, the Conservatives are in power, I am in opposition, I'm a backbencher, I really cannot change the policies, but I can help you to get your point out. He said. Then he explained me that you can do a petition, you can come outside, protest outside Queen's Park, organize the parents group. So I said, okay. So he asked me, are you willing to take that? There was not many parents here are willing to take that. I said, no, I will take that. So just to fight against cuts to education, I then started thinking about some next steps. And started a petition, got parents involved, did a rally at Regent Park where we invited the local MPP, asked him that yes, the parents are looking for no cuts to education. And see, when you immigrate to Canada, you immigrate because you are looking for a better life than what you had back home for your kids and for your grandkids. I think most of your parents would have immigrated here, or your grandparents. I don't know if you are second generation, third generation, but your parents or grandparents have come here to provide more opportunities for you to be successful in life. So I think as a community activist, they have provided me an opportunity to bring my point out and talk about the rights I have as a citizen of Canada. So I was protesting outside Queen's Park as a parent activist, and in that process I got to know my local member of provincial parliament, and one day he said to me, if you can send me your bio, because I had a very different impression about women coming from Pakistan, but you seem to be different, so if you would be interested in working at my constituency office. I said, my kids are young, and as yet my younger son is not going to school. He offered me a part-time job, which looked attractive, and naturally as a new immigrant, like a good source of income, who minds that? So I said, okay, so I started working early 2004 in his constituency office as a constituency assistant in Toronto Centre. Toronto Centre riding is home to a lot of new immigrants, very middle class, people trying to get into middle class. And I was working and I heard firsthand the issues which our communities are facing. Majority of them were new immigrants. And when they used to come to the constituency office, that grew in passion to serve the community. I felt that there is a vacuum at our different levels of government, whether it is federal, provincial, municipal. Canada is a country built by immigrants. But back in 2004, not many immigrants were in House of Commons or Queen's Park or City Hall. Still, we see that we don't have that percentage of the different communities represented. I think representation really matters. People who are sitting either in House of Commons or Queen's Park or City Hall make decisions which affect us on a day-to-day life. So it is really very important that we have representation, because perspective which I will bring, not many other people can bring. They cannot really talk about certain communities with passion. I think I can talk because I can relate myself. That okay, if we take this decision, what implications it would have on the community. So as a staffer, from 2004 till And back in 2013, under Harper, I felt that our voice is not being heard in Ummah. The laws which were coming in, we saw a lot of laws related to the safety and the security. Bill C-52, if you do some research, you'll find like second-class citizenship was another issue. A woman taking an oath in niqab was not allowed. And I thought that the voice of the minorities is not being represented well. There was a vacuum. So I thought, if I can throw my name into the hat and make sure that I can earn the trust of my community and serve the people. So just to make sure that voices of the minorities are heard, I threw in my name. I knew that if I provided a fair ground, because like a decade ago or maybe 12 years ago, lots of candidates through different parties were just appointed by me. It was at the discretion of the leader of the party who the candidate will be in the upcoming elections. Back in 2012, when Justin Trudeau became the leader of the Liberal Party of Canada, he said one thing, that he will not appoint the candidates, but it will be to the local grassroots people to elect who will be the candidate for that party in this country. That's really smart. Because I knew my ability, that I'm willing to work hard, make sure that I do my 100%. And I started that campaign. To first get nominations, Scarborough Central, because we were Scarborough residents since like almost 2005. I've been living in and around Scarborough, and I was proud to raise my kids there in Scarborough. And I thought at that time, when kids were at that age, that I can take this responsibility, because they were like finishing high school, and I thought that's the right age that I can get involved and do some service for the community. Because I saw that there were issues were come out and no one was willing to take them and fight for the people. So it was like getting a nomination was not easy. It was very challenging. When I started knocking doors, I will give you one or two examples, but I'm a very thick-skinned person. Those things did not affect me, and I said, at one door, my husband was with me, and we knocked. And it was really surprising that even like this was coming out from my own community. I mean, I opened the door, and we explained that I'm trying to seek the nomination of the Liberal Party to be your Liberal candidate in the upcoming election in 2015. So he said, have all men died that a woman is ready to run? It's like shameful moment. All men should just like go like and dive into the lake. I had no answer for that. And like my niece was with me. She was like final year student. Like she was first year student at University of Toronto St. George campus, and like she looked at me and she said, "Isn't he crazy?" So I said, "It seems like what would you say to a person like that?" I explained, and you know, like many people at a mosque told my husband, "Why are you getting your wife to run? Why don't you run yourself? If it was you, we will vote for it. But why are you letting your wife to run?" I'm very thankful to my spouse and my two kids who have walked every step with me and made sure that I can do what I wanted to do. So it was not easy. At one household, one woman said to us, like, "I would never vote for a person who has this name. You should get into a leaky boat and go back where you belong." I said, "I'm a Canadian and I belong to Canada. And I have equal rights. We have a Charter of Rights and Freedom which protects everyone." So I'm just giving you these examples that these should not be considered as hurdles or like things to stop you. You have to make sure that you overcome these and fight for your rights, fight for your community. So through a lot of hard work, I'm very thankful to the people of Scarborough Centre I was the first one to talk about that in Alaykum. Bring competition, fight for them, make sure that we recognize what's happening in Myanmar was a genocide. I have talked about gender equality. It has been at times I felt, but what I felt in the last 13 months has been very difficult. Fighting for something which is right. Not many people think that what I am talking is right. But I just want to assure you that as a member of parliament, I will always be the voice of what is right and what is wrong. Last 30 months, I know for all of you, and for me, and for many Muslim Canadians, I think every Muslim Canadian, it has been very, very heavy. The war in Gaza has brought to forefront a lot of hate, racism, discrimination. It's really very important that Canada be a strong voice in making sure that there is a ceasefire. Last 13 months, tell you like fighting for this at times, first time in the halls of parliament, walking through the hallways in the parliament, I felt that maybe I don't belong here, because not many people want me here. But I think I need young people like you to be the advocates, to make sure that we continue to fight for what is right. Because I think that politics is not going to stick with me forever. But down the road, 20 years, I want, like people like you, my own children, should walk up with pride that we had a representative who was there to fight for us. My children should not live in Canada with their heads down that yes, there was a genocide happening there in Palestine, and she was in a position of power, and she increased the voice of the vulnerable. So I think this is what we have to live up as an example for our next generations. So, as young students getting into your careers very soon, it's really very important that you get involved in your communities, whether it is volunteer or I'm seeing that our young people are very frustrated, and a lot of frustration has grown even more in the last 13 months. You think that maybe nothing is happening, and maybe you will not vote. But don't let anyone take away your right to vote. Because federal election will happen whenever, like 2 months from now or 10 months from now. If it doesn't happen before October, it has to happen in October. At the night, results will be announced, there will be a Prime Minister, there will be 342 MPs elected across Canada, and you will wake up, whether you like it or not. Make sure, I won't tell you who to vote for, make sure that you look at the platforms of each and every party and see whose parties align with your values. Like, nothing is perfect. Our 5 fingers are not equal. Some people will have some very positive things, some people will have some negative things. See who overall is the best one to represent you. Saying, I will not vote, I'm not get involved in politics because politicians don't do anything is not the right answer. Then, look at your local candidates. Who is the best one to represent you? Make sure that you go out and support them. Whoever you decide that yes, that's out of 5 candidates, this is the best one who aligns with your values and you think, go and meet them, have a conversation with them, ask your questions, and then go out and vote and make sure that you convince your family members and everyone else also to vote. It's really very important for you to be involved in your local politics, in your local communities. Some of you might be political science students or policy students. If you want to have careers developed in that, get into those. And I think these campaigns provide a best opportunity to get your first step into that. I would encourage you all that whatever your profession is, whether you are planning to do politicians bring different perspective to each other. We have doctors as MPs, we have like nurses, we have lawyers, we have bankers, like everyone can contribute. So don't ever think that because of the fact that you are taking nursing, you can never be in politics. I think passion to serve to the community, make sure we are like 5% of the total population. Muslim population in Canada is now close to 2 million out of 40 million. Do we have 5% representation? No. So I think for your future generations to be successful, it's time now to get involved. Make sure that you put your name, step up, and be ready for the fight. Yeah, it might not be easy, but have that passion to throw some kickbacks and get into that. I tell you, like if people see you that you are determined, no one can stop you. This is a land of opportunity. Charter of Rights and Freedom is there to protect each one of you. And I was elected, I was not wearing a hijab back in 2018 after going through some very difficult situation health-wise. I came out of that wearing a hijab. I got a lot of flashback that maybe I'm trying to bring Sharia law or something into this. But my passion to serve my community is the same, even maybe more, whether I wear a hijab. So never ever think that the color of your skin or the way you dress up or from where you come from, what your culture is, your religion is, your heritage is, the places in House of Commons or iSPARC are not for you. They are for each one of us. And we have to fight for that. So if anyone needs to come and ask me questions, I am ready to mentor you and equip you with those skills which can really help you. I can give you good and bad both examples. So, and it's important that you have a caring family with you to support you, a caring group of friends around you. It takes a village to be successful. So, thank you. I maybe took some longer time, but really, thanks a lot for providing me this opportunity to share my life journey with you. And I am here anytime you need to get in touch with me, send me an email and we can set up. So I would wish you all the best in your careers, whether you are graduating this year or 4 years from now. Make sure that you take every opportunity you have available to you. My late father used to say, opportunity only knocks once at your door. If you don't open the door, that will go. So, as you are entering into your careers, take use of every opportunity that knocks at your doors. Okay? Thank you. Jazakumullahu.